Hello and welcome to Friday. From myself, my husband, and the dog who's gone back to sleep. Do say hello in the comments. You're already there. Look, so you're so organised. Helen says, "Good morning, Peter."
Hello.
Hi, Rachel. Hi, Helen. Hi, Maria. It's Friday. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Dimitra. Yes, cute doggy. That's Eric. He's sleeping at the moment. Hopefully he'll sleep through it all because he'll be a total git if he isn't. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Irene. Hi, Penelope. Lots of people this morning. Hello, welcome. They're all saying good morning to you. It's very, very rare that my husband gets embarrassed. He's used to being on the stage himself, so I think we achieved that this morning. Hello, nice and sunny here in the UK. The garden is struggling from lack of water actually, but the flowers are all out and it's all beautiful. It's Friday, hurrah! Although, you know, days of the week do tend to meld into each other at the moment. Hi, Lynn. Right, I'm grumpy today. I apologise, I'm grumpy. It's just one of those mornings. It'll improve. It will improve. I'm sure you lot will cheer me up. You usually do. So this morning, and I completely forgot, I meant to go and get a honeysuckle flower from the garden. See, my husband said to me this morning, "You're really organised and calm and collected. You're usually running about." I got everything organised except for bringing a honeysuckle in from the garden. But that's what we're working with today. Honeysuckle from the Flower Magic Oracle cards. Hi, Lani. Demetria, mine always barks during my astrology sessions. Demetria, if you want to see my garden, there are videos of it. The dog's just gone out there to have a look. There are videos of my garden on my YouTube channel. I have a wander around the garden once a month and do a little bit of a video. It's not very big. It's not very big at all. It really isn't. I'll ask my husband when he comes back how big it is. I'm no good with measurements. But it is a tiny, you know, we're on the edge of a city, so it's a tiny walled city garden. I have a suspicion he's gone out to pick me a piece of honeysuckle. He's so well trained. So we are working with honeysuckle this morning. Because it's in flower at the moment, I think, thank you. He's just picked me honeysuckle. Honeysuckle, that's from our garden, so it's just starting to flower at the moment, so we'll put that on there. Thank you very much. It smells lovely. So Vicky planted some honeysuckle yesterday. Excellent. Hi, Leslie. It is a beautiful morning. Lynn, mine's just barked as your session was due to start. Eric only barks when he hears the door or he sees a pigeon. Sue's in Bristol, a very nice part of the country. Caroline's honeysuckle's out. Yeah, we've got a couple in the garden. One's in bud, it's not flowered yet. The other one, this one, has just, I have a feeling this is called rhubarb and custard or something like that. I bought it because the name was really cool. Excellent for magical work. Dimitri, love honeysuckle. Have one in my garden. English gardens are big enough. Yeah, it's big enough. Garden's big enough for us to fit everything in that we want to. But yes, do check out my YouTube. I've got me just wandering aimlessly around the garden. Morning, Karen. Yeah, honeysuckle scent is beautiful. We've got honeysuckle one side and jasmine the other side. It's lovely out there. So the card for today is honeysuckle. That's quite a nice orange honeysuckle. All of these photographs were taken by myself from plants that we had or have had in the garden. And the word is clarity. She's quite a stroppy looking girl on the picture. That's actually how I feel this morning. That look on her face is grumpy. That's how I feel this morning. It'll get better. But she's got her crystal ball, so that's clarity. So that's the card we're going to be working with today. Let me read you the blurb. So it is: Take a step back to clear your view. Shake your head and see things anew. Don't get bogged down, it will confuse. Clear out the clutter, free your muse. Find a moment, clarity to gain, and the mind fog will be slain. So, honeysuckle wisdom. Does your brain need a boost? Oh, most definitely. Do you need to take a step back and gain some clarity and perspective on a situation? Clear your mind, take a moment or even a few to sit and analyze. Get those brain cells kicked into action to join the dots and make sense of it all. We all get bogged down with mundane and day-to-day junk that clogs up our minds and stifles our thought processes. Distractions are all too easy to be led by too. Indeed, distractions are one of my downfalls. This card is a slap on the back of the head. Eric's going to eat the honeysuckle. This card is a slap on the back of the head to shake out the grey mind fog and really focus on what you need to. It might help to gain some insight from your intuition too. Tap into your psychic abilities and draw from them as well. Always, always trust your intuition because it will never let you down. Just sitting quietly for a few minutes and allow thoughts and ideas to wash through your mind can help you gain incredible insight into any situation. Honeysuckle magic, I must admit, it is one of my go-to plants for clarity, but also for prosperity. You can dab honeysuckle oil on your forehead to promote quick thinking and boost your memory. Please test it on a small area of skin first before you go dabbing essential oil straight onto your skin. Preferable to mix it with a base oil first. Use honeysuckle flowers in all prosperity and money workings. I certainly do. And honeysuckle can be added to other herbs in magical workings to help balance the blend and aid in the effectiveness of the intent. Using incense blends to help you meditate, increase your psychic powers, and to connect with spirit. So it's quite a good all-rounder one, honeysuckle. You can tend to dry the flowers, but I also dry some of the leaves as well. I do wait generally till the flowers are slightly going over because you want to enjoy the flowers in your garden first. But I dry the leaves as well because they've got the same magic as the flowers. Leslie, I've had a foggy, cluttered mind for days now. Really need some clearing. Yep, I think we're all probably in that situation at the moment. Touching exactly some of my thoughts for the day during meditation early this morning. Yeah, essential oils can be quite dangerous. Don't put them directly on the skin. Please don't put them directly on the skin. Mix them with a base oil. It doesn't even have to be a fancy base oil. You can use olive oil or sunflower oil from your kitchen. Mix essential oils into that. Because basically they can cause rashes or even burn. So, yeah, don't do it. Honeysuckle Story. Apparently, and this is a good one, it was once thought far too dangerous to bring honeysuckle flowers into the house because the scent would cause young ladies to become unnecessary and given to forbidden thoughts. Why it only happened to ladies and not the men, I don't know, but there you go.
That's unfair.
It is a bit unfair, isn't it, really? In Greek mythology, Daphne and Chloe were lovers, but as they lived far apart and could only see each other whilst the honeysuckle was in bloom, Daphne asked the god of love if the plant could bloom longer. And so it does, blooming continually throughout warm weather. It was believed that if honeysuckle grew around the entrance to the home, it prevented a witch from entering. Well, that doesn't work in my house. So a little bit of myth and story there. Demetria, just a bit of info. In Greek, we call it holy vine. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Thank you. Look, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that word, Demetria. My Greek is non-existent. Brilliant. It is climber, obviously. So very, very pretty plant, and it smells divine. So this morning I was thinking, what could I? Because I've done in previous ones, I've done medicine spell pouches, and I've done candle magic, and I've done a jar spell. I thought, what would work with clarity? And what came to mind, because I was actually working with it already, I had to do a mandala in the week, and I thought that would work perfectly for clarity. So you can use any base for mandala. You can do it on your table, you can do it on the floor, you can do it in the garden. It's entirely up to you. Let's see if I can actually balance that there. I tend to do it, I've got a stray peppercorn. I tend to do it on this tray because then it's mobile and I can move it out the way if I need to, and it doesn't get knocked over and it doesn't get blown away. You can make nature mandalas in the garden and then let the weather destroy them, do their thing. You can put them on your tables and then dismantle them when you're ready. This is kind of a mandala and it's kind of a crystal grid. But they work brilliantly for spell work. One of my favourite things to work with, actually. I've got a base in the tray. You don't need to put a base down. You can just put it on a tea towel, a scarf, an altar cloth, straight on the table. It's up to you. I've used the silver dish not only because it's easy to carry about, because I thought the silver is quite reflective and works with clarity. But I tend to put a base in if I'm working with it, and I've got a bit of a mixture here, and I will be honest, it's from the mandala that I did earlier in the week. I put a base of sesame seeds, and then I was working with various herbs, so I picked out all the big pieces, and I thought it was quite pretty. And it's got some nettle in there, it's got some tansy, and it's got some safflower, but I thought it was quite pretty, and I thought I'd work with that as the base. So, Helen, I like the idea of using a mirror for clarity. Yeah, mirrors, pieces of glass, anything reflective works for clarity. Because that's what it's there for, isn't it? We look in the mirror to see a clear view of things. So I think it works really well. Of course, I've then filled it with sesame seeds, so it's no longer reflective, but the thought's there. Let's have a look at what we've got for clarity. Lots of different foods, apple, and in magical workings, you can eat the apple, obviously, but for magical workings, the apple pips, the apple seeds work really well because you don't have to worry about them going all squishy. Bergamot, which I'm actually growing for the first time in the garden this year. It's only very small at the moment, though. Cardamom seeds, carrot, and with carrot you can use slices of carrot, or you could use the green tops if you get proper carrots with the green tops still on. Celery, clove, coffee, mustard, orange, rosemary, turkey, and again I wouldn't suggest actually using the turkey meat. You could save some of the bones for magical working. Walnuts, and you can use the walnut or the shell, and watercress. So quite a lot of foods for clarity. You could also eat them for the clarity magic as well. I've also included truth because I think that's a big part of clarity as well. So that's cloves for truth. Focus is I've included as well, and that's cinnamon and also turkey again. Plants for clarity, betony, columbine or aquilegia, that's flowering or just coming to the end of flowering in the garden at the moment. Dill, horehound, juniper, knotweed, lavender, self-heal, rue, another one that I'm growing in the garden for the first time again. Focus plants, frankincense, pansy, and pine. And for truth, bluebell, honesty, pine again, St. John's wort, snapdragon, sunflower, and sweet pea. I don't expect you to remember all of those. They will be on my pagan blog in a couple of days. But as with all things, trust your intuition and go with what you think is going to work for you and what you've got in your cupboards. Crystals as well, we've got quite a lot for clarity. I will show you some of them in a minute when I'm doing the mandala. I won't go through them all now. Agate, blue lace agate, amber, amethyst, bloodstone, orange calcite, celestite, chrysocolla, citrine, garnet, goldstone, hematite, jade, kyanite, labradorite, lapis lazuli, larimar, malachite, black obsidian, pyrite, quartz, rhodonite, selenite, serpentine, sodalite, sugilite, sunstone, tigersite, and turquoise. So it's quite a lot of of crystals available for you to work with for clarity. There's a few for focus and truth as well. They will be on the blog. I'm not going to go through them all. There are loads as well of tarot cards for intuition, truth, and decisions. I'm not working with them today, but I will include the list on Patterson Pagan blog. So let's have a look at making a mandala. You sit back a bit so you can actually see it. So I'm going to start, actually, what I do when I do my mandalas is, Maria, I haven't got any Larimar. I didn't have any. I have some now. Larimar. I'm going to start with the card, and I'm actually going to use the card in the mandala. I add all sorts of things, and you can as well. I'm actually going to then put a crystal ball on top of it for clarity. You can use oracle cards, you can use tarot cards. Pick the keywords and use the card within your design. Crystal ball for clarity, obviously, but you could use a pair of glasses. I was going to say a monocle. Not sure anybody has a monocle these days. Pair of glasses. You could use magnifying glass. Anything that kind of says clarity to you. It, like we were saying, a little small mirror, a round piece of glass maybe that you could see through, a little microscope thing. Anything that says clarity to you, put it in there. And it doesn't matter if it's not seeds or herbs. In fact, I think the very lovely Helen that's on with us today, I have recollection of you making a mandala in your hotel room, and you've sent a photo, and it was made from the little milk pots and the coffee packets that you get in hotel rooms. So you can make mandalas with absolutely anything. Helen's on the half. Roger has a monocle. That's very classy, very dapper. I do like a monocle. So yeah, chuck whatever you feel drawn to put in it. It doesn't have to be usual, for want of a better word. Put whatever you feel drawn to put in it. If I'm working for something for myself, quite often put business cards in as well. Someone's mowing their lawn or cutting their hedge, which is very loud. See, the dog's gone to see now. Helen had to use what was to hand. Yeah, and I think you can. That's what I love about these mandalas or grids. You can use whatever you want and whatever you've got to hand. Everything has a magical meaning or a purpose. So we've got a clarity card in the middle, and we've got a crystal ball. Now I'm going to start with some bits and pieces. So let's start with some crystals. I've got a bloodstone that's come out first. See, ever since doing these lives, just making sure the dog's not going to eat any of the plants, I've had to organise all of my crystals and label them all. So I've got a bloodstone, and I'm going to put that right on top of the clarity word on the card. I've got some amethyst here. Such a useful crystal, amethyst. It's so good for all sorts of things. I've got, perhaps should have taken them out of the plastic bags first. I've got a big piece of crystal there. I'm not putting these in any particular set order. I'm going to put things where I feel the place is right to put them. So trust your intuition, be guided by it. You can charge each item as you go. Eric, Maria says hello. I'll charge each item as you go with the intent that you're working with. So clarity on the situation, and pop them down. What else have we got in here? One of my favourites, malachite. I'm not just randomly picking these out. These are all crystals associated with clarity. So I'm going to put a piece of malachite, nice green stripy. I'm going to put that one down there with the purpose and intent of clarity. I've got a very nice piece of lapis lazuli here. Blue with shiny bits in. And I'm going to put that there. I've got various other bits here. Sodalite, blue lace agate, because that's really good for clarity, but good for communication as well. So if that's the issue, then that will help as well. Tiger's eye, another good all-rounder, covers all sorts of things: courage, confidence, protection, but also good for clarity. And I wonder whether it is the fact that it is tiger's eye, so it is all-seeing. So I'll pop a bit of tiger's eye there. He can go there. Right, so we've got part of a crystal grid. Hopefully you can see it fairly well. And now I'm going to work with some herbs. So I've got a bit of rue here. So I am growing it in the garden, but it's a bit small at the minute. So I've got a little pot of rue from Freya's Cauldron. So I'm going to sprinkle this where I feel it's needed. So rue for clarity, focus and truth. The nice thing about these two, if you work with herbs and spices and plant matter, when you've finished the spell and it's done its thing, you can remove all of the hardware, you can remove all of the crystals, cleanse them, then you can use them again, remove all the bits and pieces. All of the plant matter that you've got left, you could make into either an incense blend or a sachet powder with the intent of, you know, clarity or whatever your intent was. I've got some cardamom here, one of my favourite flavours. Some cardamom seeds. So we're just going to dot those around. Again, wherever you feel drawn to put them. If you've got any questions about this or about anything, pop them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. It doesn't have to be about today's spell, it doesn't have to be about oracle cards, it doesn't have to be about flower magic. It can be. But any questions you've got at all, please do pop them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. Now I'm going to put some juniper in. Good for clarity and focus, but I think also good for connection to spirit and good for purification. So multi-purpose, all of these are really. They've all got different, you know, no herbal spices, you usually just got one intent or magical property. Now I'm going with rosemary. My rosemary flowered this year quite spectacularly, but it was a last hurrah because after it had been covered in loads and loads of blooms, that was it really. It gave up the ghost. So rosemary, I'm just going to do this because that's what I feel drawn to do. Sprinkling it on there for clarity, clear sight, and good old intuition as well. Clarity's good. Clarity's a really good all-rounder. It covers all sorts of things. Very good for purification and cleansing as well. I have juniper oil. Could that be used instead? Absolutely. You can use oils instead of the herbs if you want to. Just a few drops on your, even on some of your crystals if you want to, a few drops. If you don't want to ruin the oracle cards or anything like that that you use, keep the oils away from them. But yes, certainly, a few drops of essential oils, absolutely, no problem. Sue, when I see you, I realise how much I don't know. Oh, trust me, there's an awful lot I don't know. I work a lot with kitchen witchcraft. I've trained in Wicca. I'm a trained herbalist too, and a crystal therapist. But take me out into the more ceremonial stuff, and I haven't got a clue either. I'm always doing courses myself. I'm always learning. We're all always learning. No one knows everything. Even nearly 30 years into this, and I don't even know a small percentage of it all. So we're all always learning, but the fun of it is sharing. We can all learn from each other. You guys often suggest stuff that I hadn't thought of. So hopefully it's a kind of two-way thing. We're all in this together and we can share information. Maria, rosemary is one of my favorites. Yeah, it is one of my go-tos because it's easily available and it's got so many different uses. So yeah, don't worry, Sue, we're all still learning. Now I'm going with orange, which is really good for clarity. I think probably most of the citrus fruits are, because of the acidity of them. They are clear, they do cut through things, don't they? You add citrus to quite a lot of recipes to cut through the fat or the, you know, the richness of it. So I'm going to use some, I've got some dried slices of orange here. I'm going to put that one, I'm going to put that one there. Doesn't want to sit, so I'm going to put it there. I've also got some ground orange as well, which I'm going to sprinkle around. This is just dried orange peel and then ground up. I've got a little coffee grinder that I grind my spices in, purely for magical use. I've got a pestle and mortar as well, but that's quite hard work with some of them. If I'm doing a big batch of dried herbs and spices, I get the coffee grinder out. But I say I don't use it for grinding coffee. I only use it for magical use, because when you're working with things like mistletoe, you don't really want to then use the same grinder or pestle and mortar for grinding your spices for your curry, because you don't want to be eating mistletoe. Hi Devon, rosemary's my go-to. Grows well in Norfolk. Cool. Yeah, rosemary's a good one. Now I've got some fun ones here. I've got some snapdragon seed heads, and these are just fantastic. I'll try and get one out for you to see and not knock everything over. They look like little alien skulls. They are possibly the coolest seed heads ever. So these are snapdragons, or antirhinums to give them their proper name. They really do look like alien skulls, but they're really good for clarity. So I'm going to pop some there. Again, putting in it, they are little skulls, Maria. They absolutely look like little skulls, alien skulls, because they've got quite big foreheads. Again, adding my intent as I go, visualization, adding your energy into each one. Cloves, good for clarity, good for truth. Actually, really good for stopping gossip as well, if you've ever got a problem with that. These are really good for that. So, cloves for clarity and truth. And they also smell fantastic. Good old fiery one here, mustard seeds. These are the black mustard seeds. You can get yellow ones, doesn't matter. These are so tiny, I'm going to sprinkle them. Any seeds like this are also really good for prosperity, because there's so many. The sesame seeds I've got on the base as well, really good for prosperity. Really quick and easy prosperity jar spell. Empty jar, every day, put a pinch of seeds in. Say a little bring prosperity my way chant, put another pinch of seeds in each day until it's full. Once it's full, prosperity should come your way. So I'm just sprinkling these seeds around. Mustard has a real fiery power boost to it. And then the last one I've got here is cinnamon bark. This is actually cassia bark. It's the cheaper version of cinnamon, but it's the one that I use in magical spells because I like the robustness of it. Devon, I carry a few cloves in my pocket at work. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant for protection, purification, anti-gossip. And they're tiny, and you can just pop them in there and you're done. So I'm being really manly and guru here. I'm breaking up pieces of cinnamon bark, which smells amazing, but is very good for focus particularly. Let's put that out there. So really simple. If you want to, you can pop Maria has some cloves in a tea strainer with a piece of cinnamon for your tea. Fantastic. Really, really, I love chai tea, which is cinnamon, cloves, cardamom, ginger. Fantastic. If you want to, you can add, hello, can you smell the cinnamon? Little faces just set up. You can add candles if you want to add to the energy of the spell. So let's just pop those in there. And that's pretty much done. So let's see if I can hold it up a little bit so that you can see it more clearly. Not really tip it. It's quite pretty, you know, bit of a mess, but it's quite pretty. But it's the intent that's important. Karen Cinnamon's my favourite. Oh, hi Sue. Lani, cinnamon and a cake. Oh yeah, absolutely. And also nutmeg. I recently made a nutmeg cake. Oh, we couldn't stop eating it. It was gone within a day. It was amazing. So really, really straightforward. Chuck whatever you want into it. It doesn't have to be herbs and spices and crystals. You can make a simple grid with, 3 crystals if you really want, and a business card or an oracle card. It's all about the focus and the intent. Adding the different herbs and spices just adds layers. As with anything, we were talking about candle magic the other day and adding essential oil to it. If you dress your candle with oil, you're just adding another layer to the magic. If you then add herbs, you're adding another layer to the magic. Trust your intuition, put whatever you want or you feel is right into it, and then you're done. If you've got a lot of crystals, you can connect them. You can set the magic in motion. Some people do it with a crystal point or a selenite point. You tap the main crystal and then go to each crystal in turn to set the energy lines. I don't tend to do it if I'm doing this kind of thing because everything's all been charged with my energy anyway and my intent. So it's all set and ready to go. What I will do is light the candles. Modern technology here. If it lights. And I will usually leave that to burn for as long as I feel it needs to burn. I'm actually going to place the honeysuckle flower on there as well. And that's the spell. Whether it's a mandala or a crystal grid or medicine wheel or whatever it is, I don't know. But it's all there, and you can make it on. It doesn't have to be a tray. You could use a dinner tray. You could use a plate, even just a table mat, piece of material, handkerchief, whatever you want to use as a base. Make it your own, really, and add the things that you want to. So that's honeysuckle. And that's for clarity. I was going to show you the card, but it's underneath all the stuff. So the cards are from the Flower Magic Oracle deck. And there's your spell in place. So if anyone's got any questions, please do pop them in the comment there. If there's anything you would like me to specifically talk about or show you, or Maria, I've made one on a tray before. Trays are quite useful because you can move them about and no one's going to disturb them. If you make them on the dining room table, then you're not going to be able to leave it there for very long. I do like to make them outside if I'm using natural items that are biodegradable, because then the weather disperses them when it's ready. But yeah, it's like and it doesn't have to be big either. You could make it in a teacup if you really wanted to, or a tea saucer. Little tiny ones would be fantastic just to pop on your altar. Sue, I didn't hear what you have as the base. Is it sand? It could be sand. Sand would work really well. That's just sesame seeds, because I had them there from another one that I was working with, to be honest. You don't even need a base. You can just put the crystals and the herbs straight on the tray. Particularly as this one's for clarity, it would work really well on a mirror. If you've got a mirror in a frame, you could just lay the mirror down and put the items on. So it doesn't need to have a base. That's just me making it look pretty, really. But go with what works for you, really. And it is multi-purpose. You can use it for absolutely any intent that you want to. So this is for clarity. So now you have to wait for the clarity to come. Listen out for any messages. You could even sit, particularly as there's candles in this one, sit with it in, hello. You could sit with it in front of you and meditate and wait and see for answers. Wait for the guidance. then you're taking in the energy as you meditate. Or you could just leave it to do its thing, and at some point in the next few days, hopefully, inspiration, clarity, the answers will come to you. Caroline, I have a copper tray. Yeah, copper. Copper's very good at transmitting energy. It's a conductor. So copper's really good for that. In actual fact, if you bear with me with 2 seconds, I think I've got copper listed in a book. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Right, Irene, new book cooking just arrived. Well, it just so happens. Thank you, Irene, for reminding me. This is out today. Nice size, lots of recipes, a whole year's worth of recipes. Alternative Guide to Cooking. That's all my baking things in there. That's out today. So let's have a look for copper. I'm pretty sure I put it in here. I can't remember where in here. It's under metals, which in a different section. Copper's definitely very good for there we are, for conducting. So I've got silver and gold. Copper, here we go. Copper provides support, cooperation, protection, love, attraction, purification, self-esteem, positive energy, communication, energy as general, psychic abilities, channeling, balance, understanding, harmony, money, confidence, optimism, divine connection, and luck. So yes, copper is really good for all sorts of things, Caroline. So copper tray would be brilliant. Eric's lovely. Yeah, he is lovely most of the time. A lot of the time, though, he's a git, but there you go. Metal too. For clarity, swords in the tarot would be brilliant for working with for clarity, because they're all about headology. So that would be absolutely brilliant to use. Lani, when the spell is finished, could you put all the ingredients and crystals and carry around as a pouch? Absolutely, Lani. When the spell's finished, you could pop it all in a spell pouch if you want to. I tend to dismantle it. I'll clean all the crystals and recharge them and use all the plant ingredients as an incense blend, or I grind them up and make them into a spell powder, so that you're still reusing all rather than chucking them away. You can just pop them all in the compost if you're in the bin if you really want to, but I like to, because I put so much energy into it and they're all plant materials, I make an incense out of them. So yeah, whatever you're drawn to do, really. Maria, mine's coming today also. Yes, hopefully it's all out today. They all should be winging their way to you. It's exciting. It's my first proper cookbook, so it's very exciting. There's lots of cake recipes in there. So that's it for the spell, really, and I will just leave that. And then, as I say, I'll take out the crystals, cleanse them, and make the rest into incense. So if anybody wants me to talk about anything particular, show you anything particular, do anything particular, other than singing and dancing, which isn't going to happen, you can just message me, let me know, and I'll cover it. Interestingly, with this, for clarity and messages, if you work with spirit, then you may get the message from spirit. Bear in mind that spirit aren't always very clear, quite often aren't very clear about their messages in complete sentences. They may just show you images or symbols, and you will have to decipher them. Even the professional psychic mediums quite often just get images or one word, and they have to work it out from there. If it's deity, the divine you work with, you may get dreams, you may get messages in meditation. If you're just going to leave it to the universe, then hopefully you will have that light bulb moment. A few days' time, you'll go, of course, that's what I need to do. So the magic will work, whatever way you work, and whoever you work with to get the answers. Trust in it, basically. Trust your intuition and trust the guidance that you're given. But also bear in mind as well that spirit don't always get it right. They were human once, after all. Just be guided by your intuition, and trust the messages that you get, but trust your intuition. If you're given some guidance and it feels hinky, trust here, basically. So that's it. So I shall leave that doing its thing. If anyone's got any more questions, please do feel free to ask them. We have a Waffling Witches in the Kitchen Witch Facebook group next Wednesday, 2:30 p.m. That's all of us, all on board to have a chat with you guys. Questions, we'll waffle, we'll do whatever we can to entertain. But that's over in the Kitchen Witch Facebook group. We're also running a live summer solstice ritual online, which should be fun. 21st of June, 9:30 UK time in the morning. So join us for that as well. Thank you, Devon. It's my absolute pleasure. Thank you to you guys for all your support as always. Again, if you've got any questions, message me or pop them over on the Kitchen Witch Coven Facebook page. We're always happy to help with any guidance and support that we can give. It's a fabulous group over there. Maria, you waffle as much as you want. If we're all just sitting there and no one makes any comments or no one asks any questions, it's really difficult to work with. We love that you guys talk and ask questions. It makes it all go really much smoothly and makes it more fun. So absolutely, part of going live is that people interact, and that makes it so much more fun. Thank you, Karen. I like Friday mornings too. It's fab to connect with you all. So that's it, really. Let your magic do its thing. And thank you, Sue, as well, for everything, as always. You guys are superstars. Thank you for all your support. Yes, have a lovely weekend, everyone. Enjoy the sunshine, but please stay safe and sensible. I know you will. And that's Helen. Thank you. This is yes, Helen's back to Helen. Are you back to work next week? A lot of people will be going back to work. So good luck to all you guys starting to get back into routine. Helen's sending homework. Oh, homework. Excellent. Vicky, Rachel, thank you, you guys. It's my absolute pleasure. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Stay safe. And as always, myself and the Kitchen Witch posse are here for help and support. If you need anything, all you've got to do is shout. Take care, Lani. Take care, everyone. Have a fabulous rest of the day. And I will see you next Friday. Well, I'll see you next Wednesday if you join us on the Waffling Witches. Other than that, I'll see you next Friday. Bye.